We all have at least one of these people in our lives. They're the planner, the rule follower, the person who provides that steady, solid foundation when our world feels a little chaotic. Today, we're going to dive deep into what really makes this personality type tick, and, more importantly, how understanding them can totally transform your relationships. Okay, so right now, I want you to bring someone to mind. Seriously, picture them. It could be a friend, a parent, maybe your partner, or that one colleague at work. Who is that person in your life who just lives by the book, the most organized, meticulous person you know? Got him? Good. Hold that person in your thoughts as we go through this. Is it that friend who plans a group vacation with a color-coded spreadsheet? You know the one. It details every flight, every meal, every single activity, right down to the minute. They're not being controlling. In their mind, a good plan is what prevents problems.
Or hey, maybe it's that colleague, the one who lives by the motto, if you're not 5 minutes early, you're late. For them, punctuality isn't just about being on time, it's a fundamental sign of respect, and they absolutely expect the same in return.
And what about the person who knows the official rules for everything? From board games to company policy, it can seem a little intense, but they genuinely believe that rules create a fair and predictable world for everyone. Well, all of these people fall under a specific personality type that we're calling the blueprint. And honestly, the metaphor is just perfect. Think about it. An architect relies on a precise, totally predictable plan to make sure a building is safe and strong. That is exactly how this personality type approaches life, with a blueprint. So to put a more formal definition on it, a blueprint is someone who values stability, structure, and tradition above pretty much everything else. These are the reliable foundation builders in our families, our companies, and our communities. They create the order that allows everything else to run smoothly. Now, to truly understand and connect with a blueprint, we can't just look at what they do. We've got to go deeper. We need to understand the core values that are driving them. You could think of it as their internal operating system. And we can boil down their whole value system into 3 simple pillars. First, there's a deep, deep need for order and systems. Second, a powerful sense of responsibility and duty. And third, a profound respect for tradition and stability. Let's break those down real quick. So, first up, order and systems. Blueprints absolutely thrive in clear structures. They love step-by-step processes and super careful plans, because all of that creates predictability. And listen, for a blueprint, predictable isn't boring, not at all. It's safe. It's how they get rid of risk and guarantee a successful outcome, whether they're building a bookshelf or, a multi-million-dollar business. Pillar number 2 is responsibility and duty, and this one is huge. Blueprints feel this deep obligation to do what they say they're going to do. To them, their word is their bond. They respect rules because rules create a fair framework for everyone. It's not just about blindly following them, it's about their personal duty to uphold the system. And our third pillar is tradition and stability. Blueprints build their lives on solid foundations. They respect credentials and titles because those things represent proven experience. They're loyal to established institutions because, in their view, if something has worked for a long, long time, there's probably a pretty good reason for it. Change just for the sake of change? Yeah, that's their enemy. Okay, so we get their values now. But how do you spot a blueprint out in the wild, before you even get to know them on a deep level? Well, once you know what to look for, they give off some very clear clues. You can often spot a blueprint just by observing their choices, because their values show up in very practical ways. Take a look at their appearance. It's usually professional and always follows the dress code. Check out their environment, a neat, organized desk where everything has its place. And their stuff, it often prioritizes function over flash, like a reliable car with high safety ratings. These aren't just little habits, they're expressions of that core need for order and predictability. So, how do we actually use this understanding to build stronger connections? Whether it's with your boss, your spouse, or your best friend, building trust with a blueprint really requires learning to speak their language. The path to connecting with them is actually pretty clear. You build trust by being on time, by presenting a clear plan, and above all else, by keeping your word. You break that trust by being flaky, disorganized, or making these big emotional appeals. You have to remember this. To a blueprint, disorganized thinking signals a disorganized commitment. Professionalism and reliability, that's everything to them.
This quote comes from a true story about a massive business deal that was completely lost just because someone showed up 10 minutes late without calling ahead. The blueprint on the other side of that table didn't see it as a small mistake. No way. He saw it as a fundamental sign of disrespect for his time, and he figured that's probably how he'd be treated in the future. This isn't just about business. It's such a powerful lesson in how blueprints view respect in any relationship.
If you take away just one thing today, let it be this. For a blueprint, promises are never casual. Your word is your bond. Honesty, integrity, and simply doing what you said you would do, that is the currency of trust. It's how they evaluate your character in every single relationship they have.
So why does understanding this one personality type matter so much in our everyday lives? Let's connect all the dots here.
And this is so critical. This knowledge is not a tool for manipulation. It's a tool for empathy. It's about understanding that the person who gets upset when you're late isn't trying to be difficult. They're just operating from a core value of respect for time and planning. It's about choosing to communicate in a way that shows you respect what they value.
And ultimately, that's the whole goal. When you learn to speak the language of the blueprints in your life, you are showing them respect in a way they deeply, deeply understand. And that builds a foundation of trust that is incredibly strong and can truly last a lifetime. You're simply meeting them where they are.
So I'll leave you with this question. Go back to that person you pictured at the very beginning. Who is the blueprint in your life? And based on everything we've covered, what is one small thing you can do, maybe even this week, to speak their language and build a stronger, more trusting connection?